Hi, this is Joe Renna. We're going to make some dough today for bread and pizza crust. We've been out eating a lot of homemade pizzas during the coronavirus lockup, and my friends asked me how to do it, so I'm going to show you. We're going to make some basic dough. There's a couple varieties. You can use different flours. Some people put eggs in it. I'm going to show you the most basic, and you can take it from there. We're going to use 5 pounds of flour. You'll need salt. I'm going to estimate 5 tablespoons of salt, and you'll need some lukewarm water. I'm going to estimate 5 cups of water, but none of that's written in stone because you have to feel the consistency of the dough. You can do it right on your countertop, or like my grandmother did, she used a wooden board which would absorb some of the water, so that's the differences that you'll feel. I'll use a pan so it's easy to show you and easy to mix. And the first thing we're going to do is just take your 5 pounds of flour and just dump it in the pan. Very easy. Alright, make a little well in the morning, in the middle. Usually I keep, if you only have 5 pounds, leave a little flour in the bag. You'll need that for a little cleanup. I always have extra flour around, so I keep a bag for later. And we're going to have some lukewarm water. So lukewarm, I'm going to call that, my grandmother says warm to the touch. So that would be 110 degrees. I mean, if you're 98 degrees temperature. So if you want to get exact about it, you'll need warm water to activate the yeast. Too hot, the yeast goes wild and expand crazy. Not hot enough and the yeast wouldn't dissolve. So let the yeast float in there a little bit. And I'm saying 5 tablespoons of salt, but I always did a palmful. That's what my grandmother used, and that's what I did. And I believe more salt to get a crustier crust. You'll once you make a couple times, you'll see that what happens for a variety. Now the trick is never put too much water in. It's very hard to come back from too much water. It's very difficult to add more flour. Much easier to add more water. So I really put it in very little increments, and I don't put more water in until the water that is in there is all absorbed. So you'll see, we'll put this whole pot in and probably another pot on the side in case we need it. But you'll see it's very sticky. I use one hand to mix it, and I keep the other hand clean to do whatever I have to do, because you see it gets stuck. So this is pretty good. If you want to clean your hand, you can use a little of just the flour and it comes right off. So what we're going to do, we'll move this onto the countertop. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to mix it this way. On the dry side, so I'm just going to make a little well, put a little water in there, start folding the water into the dough. So I used all the water in the pan already. Contain the whole packet of yeast. If you use too much water, then you wouldn't use all the yeast if you start out with too much water in the pan. Alright, you can see it's flaky, so it's still dry, but there's some parts that are really moist. And the key is patience. The longer you knead it, the better it's going to be. The more even the yeast is distributed. You won't get air pockets when it does rise later. So I used to do this when I was very young. I mean, pre-teens, I learned to make the dough. My grandmother, who had arthritis, couldn't knead the dough easily, so it was my job to knead the dough. She would sit there and tell me what to do, how much water. She would feel the water before I used it, and this was my job to do. You can see it coming together. That's good. So as a kid, I had these gigantic hands, even when I was young. And kids at school used to make fun of me, used to be bullied for my hands. They're so big. Very self-conscious about my hand size. I remember my first dance, I was in the 7th grade. Working up enough nerve to ask a girl to dance her first time. Annabelle Annunziata. She was very skinny, freckles. She had like this overbite. Shy. But me too. I was shy. So I finally got up enough nerve to ask her to dance. I walked up to her. I said, Annabelle, would you like to dance? She goes, why the big paws? I said, why the buck teeth? Politically incorrect joke. This is nice, you see? Not too wet, not too dry. If it was moist and stick to your hand when you did that, not good. If it was dry and was falling apart when you did this, that's not good either. So now kneading it, you can never knead it too much. Like I said, the more the better. Get it off your fingers. Knead it in there. So this is like 5 pounds of dough. We're going to sit it aside and let it raise for 5 hours. I know friends who have like bread machines to do this, but it's only 10 minutes. How long have we been going? Yeah, 5-10 minutes you get the whole thing done. It takes you 5 minutes to clean the machine up. Okay, this is nice. We're going to use our pan. We're going to put it in our pan. We're going to let it rise in the pan. Just want to put a little oil in the pan. Just enough to coat the outside of the dough ball. This way it doesn't get crusty because it's going to be sitting out. And it doesn't stick to whatever cover you're going to put on it. Alright, so that's nice. Usually we just put a nice blanket or a towel. We used to put pillows. Make it very warm. You know, if it's warm, then it's it'll rise easier. So we covered it in a pan. We're going to put it aside to rise, and we're going to revisit it in about 5 hours. So I'll be back. Alright, this was sitting about 3 hours or 4 hours. You'll see how it doubled in size. A lot of air in there. So what I'm going to do, I just take it, I'm going to punch all the air out. Like so. Need it a little more. This is perfect dough right now. So usually, I let this rise another time, and I'll do this again. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to slice it up. So what I do, this is 5 pounds of flour. Look at that. See? Not much else. I'll make 10 loaves like this. One of these will make a pizza. I can make these little ones rise. But basically, I would wrap these and put them right in the freezer in saran wrap and pull them out the day I want to use them. Growing up, we used to do 10 pounds of flour. Again, takes the same amount of time. And as a treat, my grandmother used to make pizza frites with them. Pizza frite is just, it's like a flat zeppeli. We just put oil in a pan, stretch these out, and fry them this way. Great treat. I'll have to judge how big your pieces are. You can make 5 big loaves instead of 10 little pizza crusts if you want. There's a big air pocket in there. So I'm going to let these sit and raise a little bit, and I'll knead them again before I put them in the fridge or freezer. Alright, we got a bonus one out of this deal. Alright. Well, approximately the same size. I'm going to cover these. Let them raise again a little bit before I wrap them. I'll leave these right here for now. See you later. Okay, I let these sit for a few more hours. You can see how much they raised again. So I'm going to punch them down again. Look at that. You can see how they get drier around the edges, so what you want to do is to cover them completely, and you want to refrigerate them at this time, otherwise they're going to keep raising and they're trying to stretch the plastic and you have a big mess on your hands. Alright, so that's it. I'm going to roll up the rest of these and put them in the fridge and freezer, and we'll pull one out and make a pizza. So that's cool. See you later. Okay, now we're ready to make a pizza. We took this from the fridge and we're going to knead it a little bit just to get the outside and inside all mixed up. The outside may have a little dryness to it. I mean, you can actually make just a loaf of bread and cook it this way. But we're going to roll this out. And remember, you always should have some flour in the house or extra flour left over from before. You're going to need this so that when you do roll it out, it slides and doesn't stick to the rolling pin or the table. And if you are using a cutting board to roll out on, that's going to absorb some moisture too. So this works out any bubbles that may be in there from rising, though it shouldn't have risen anything in the while it's cold in the fridge. So I'm just going to roll this out. I'm not going to flip this on top of my head. Very easy. Slow and steady wins the race. Just keep the flour on it so it slides. You can make these square or round, anything you want. I'm just going to roll it out to the size of my pan. I'm preheating my oven at 450 degrees. The hotter the better. I mean, when you see brick oven pizzerias with 800 degree fire in there, it comes out really crispy and gets done quick. But wherever your stove is fine. I do this on my barbecue grill also. Put a stone out there and put your pizza on top of that. I need a repair here. I made a hole. Amazingly fast and simple to do. I also recommend having all your toppings out already before you do this. I have artichoke hearts and olives and hot peppers that I'm going to put on mine, and some grated mozzarella cheese. Alright, so we'll fit this onto the pan. I have some homemade tomato sauce from Tony Spiro, none other than. Can't beat it. Just put a little thin layer of sauce on here. Very cool. So this pot that we use the water for is it's about 5-6 cups I put in there. About 5 cups I used. So I like to put this in the oven now and let the crust cook a little bit, because the crust will cook longer than the ingredients on top would, and I don't want to dry them out or burn them out. So I'll put this in the oven until I see it get a little crispy. And I have no time control on that, just I eyeball it depending on the temperature of the oven, but I'll show you later when we take it out. So this was about 10 minutes in the oven. See, you're getting a little crispy on the edge. So we're going to put our mozzarella on first. Usually you can make a few pies with different toppings, of course, and they all cook at the same time, so it's the same amount of effort. I'm only making one pie here, just for me and my lovely wife. I have a little spinach leaves I'm putting on. Spread them evenly. I have my artichoke hearts. I have my olives. Maybe a little overkill, but I love my hot peppers on here too. So I made half hot peppers. I have some anchovies, so you can put your alich on it later. You can do it after it cooks even. And I like to sprinkle a little oregano in there. And that's it. And we're going to cook it until it's brown underneath. Should be done in another 10 minutes. Okay, finished product. I like using the scissors to cut my pie. I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces. I don't think we can finish 8. On the side we're going to have some anchovies too. So I open a can of anchovies. They're like eating eyebrows, hairy and salty. One for the cook. Get some red wine here, only the best. I made a salad and I'm ready to eat. Bon appetit. Hi, thanks for watching the Peterstown Show. We have archives going back 40, 50 years. We have 8mm and VHS tape. If you have any 8mm film or VHS tape, we'll transfer them for free if we use them on the show. In the meantime, comment below, subscribe to our channel. You can also purchase the Peterstown book at peterstownnj.com. It's only $25. It's the 100-year history of our neighborhood. Thank you.